Hello, my loves. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dustina. This is Spiritual Boujee Astrology, and we're going to take a deeper look at the new moon in Pisces. Now, of course, this is a new moon that should be an eclipse, but isn't an eclipse. That's a big thing that everybody always questions, like, why is this one not an eclipse? The North Node is now in Pisces. Shouldn't this automatically be defaulted as to an eclipse? And the reason that it's not is because of its location and how far away from the North Node that it actually is. To be an eclipse, whatever lunation we're talking about, whether it's a full moon or a new moon, it has to be within 15 degrees of the said node, north node or south node. In this case, we're talking about the north node. So in the vibration that we're going into, we are a little far off from that. This is somewhere closer to the 17, 18 degree mark, really and truly. So we're just a little bit off from this being an actual eclipse. But whenever we talk about the Pisces stuff, we have actually already had a Pisces eclipse. It happened last year on September 17th. And that was an out of sign eclipse. That vibration then spoke to bringing awareness of something where we desire change, we desire hope, lessons are coming through, a vibration that is set towards healing certain emotions, but the whole process behind it needed time to unwind. We had an eclipse before the node changed sign, so it was like letting us know back then, I desire certain things in this area, and for me to receive them, I have to get ready. I got to work through some stuff. I've got to take on some energy. I've got to let go of some of the past. I got to heal. I got lessons. I got stuff going on. And for the majority of us, we've had a lot of stuff going on over the last 6 months. So, whatever is going on now in the Pisces vibration, in this Pisces energy, for a lot of people, what's starting to take shape is 6 months in the making. And it is a powerful new moon. But again, it's not an eclipse. We won't have an eclipse in this area again until this fall. You see, all the Pisces eclipses are going to be full moons. We had a full moon last September. We will have another full moon eclipse in Pisces this September. And we will have our third and final one in the rounds of three in August of 2026. And all of them are going to be full moons. So, whenever it comes to the idea of the gains that we're meant to have in this area, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to fully conceive, to fully grow into, to fully adapt, change, and accomplish. And change is a big part of this vibration. You see, Pisces is a mutable sign. Mutable signs are the signs that take us into new seasons. Fixed signs are literally the center of whatever season that we're in, winter, summer, fall, whatever. When we wrap up Aquarius season, we start to wrap up winter. And over the course of Pisces season, we transition. We go through these waves of hot and cold, rainy, sunny, snow the next day. I don't know about you guys, but here in Oklahoma, we went from like 4 degrees with snow and ice this weekend to Monday and Tuesday being 60 and 70 and almost 80 degrees. Actually, I'm pretty sure yesterday did hit 80 degrees. It's freaking crazy. The changes from one spectrum to another. We transition. We transition in the energy. We transition in the weather. We transition as individuals. We're in a transition right now. Over the course of the days following this new moon, the sun is going to perfect an actual square to Jupiter. The new moon is loosely in a square. It's 3 degrees away, so we have a buildup of energy that's going to follow. And the actual perfection will not occur until the 2nd, March the 2nd, right after Venus turns retrograde. And there's a lot of the vibration that tells me that whatever is going on in this new moon, whatever we are learning, whatever is being instigated, whatever is coming through, is a buildup of vibration For some people, it's going to be building up to the confidence. For other people, it is going to be building up in our spiritual lessons, the downloads that come through, everything that starts to become clear in your meditation and in your visions. For other people, it's going to be a financial push. A lot of times, Jupiter will have to do with wealth and prosperity and abundance. For some, there will be a very big belief that sets in over these few days, immediately around the new moon, not just the new moon, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, going into next week, those days around the new moon will push some type of energy. For some, it's going to be how we heal, how we overcome, how we let go of the past. Pisces is the 12th zodiac sign. How we find ourselves. And again, for a lot of people, there will be a boost in confidence. Now, if you listen to the weekly episode, I called it obnubilation. I had to look this word up. I know you guys have heard me say that a couple times. I'm very serious. But so much of what we're going into next, immediately following this new moon, within that Venus retrograde. And for those that are asking when the Venus retrograde video is going to come out, it'll be next week. You guys are already getting like 4 episodes this week. It'll be next week. Just humor me on that. We have so much in the vibration that I go back to the concept of the obnubilation. Again, it is the process and the transition of how something darkens and veils. And I think of that concept that goes towards survival instinct. When people have talked about being choked and how they can start to feel the darkness sink in, and there's so little light that we have to make a decision that we either succumb to darkness or we allow for the snap survival instinct to take over and we start fighting. We prove our worth. We start fighting for something, fighting for our life, fighting to get through, fighting to overcome, fighting to not just be a reaction, but for some people to recover. Now, when I think of the process of that darkness, it's not just the week that we're in, because a lot of the Venus retrograde is going to be a reaction to everything that's gone on since last summer. That's a big reaction. What I feel like the darkness is this week is it's almost like a tunneling of giving us a point of where we're going to laser lock in and for us to be able to react, respond, recover, whatever it is we're going to do, for the consequence, whether intended or unintended, for that to be locked in on. We either have to have some type of information, some type of lesson, some type of spiritual awakening, prosperity, influx, send the money, do all the money magic, give me the money, show me the dollars. For others, it is going to be a confidence boost, a boost in our confidence, feeling capable of fighting back, of surviving, of reacting. Tired of having so much emotional turmoil inside, of being told that we're wrong for living whatever part of our life that we're in. You're never going to be anything more than a witch. You know how many times I've been told that in my life? You know, my normal response to that is, I've been called worse, because I have. You're never going to be anything more than a whore. You're not going to be able to be better than anything. You're going to be the worst one in the world. I've been told so much shit over my life about how I will never be good at anything, good for anything. And I have proved every single one of them wrong. See, a lot of the vibration, whenever it comes to me as an individual, with that Mars retrograded being in my 9th house, is one, relearning some old lessons, but to two, teach other people how to recover and how to take an action. So much of the vibration for me and the lessons for me has been how to set an example. There's so many people out there that whenever they start to do something, they don't get their own shit in order. I'm not perfect. I'm not even pretend like I am. But I live by my word. I do things exactly how I say I'm going to do them. If you don't like my tone, you don't like the way that I say it, that's a you problem. But whenever it comes to what happens next and how people react and how people respond, a lot of them need to know that somebody, even if it's just the woo-woo bitch that you only talk to on the TV, over the YouTube, over Zoom, or however you interact with me, is knowing that somebody has your back. Somebody believes in you. You can start that business. You can get your GED. You can go back to school. You can do those things that you need to do. I believe in you. You are better than what they say. You are more than what they say. They don't know who you're becoming. Now, I mean it when I say the other end of all of this energy, we're all landing somewhere new. We're in something new. We're doing something new. We're being someone new. We land somewhere new. I'm going to say it again. We're landing somewhere new. But to get to that other side and feel confident and solid with what that new is going to look like, we have to do the work. We have to feel confident in our steps. We have to believe that something is going to happen, regardless of what anyone else says to us. We have to believe. Now, what's interesting whenever you think of the energy of everything else that's going around with this new moon, Jupiter is in Mercury's sign. It's in Gemini. Mercury is in Pisces during this new moon. So therefore, Mercury and Jupiter are in mutual reception. These two areas of the chart understand one another, are working with one another. They are cohesive with one another. Gemini likes to talk. I like to talk, obviously. But they like to express knowledge. They like to express themselves. There are expressions that need to be made. But for certain people, those expressions need to be deeper than some petty ass gossip. It needs to be real. It needs to be tangible. It needs to be something that teaches us things. Jupiter is in Gemini. The boost in confidence needs to be expansive. The energy around us needs to take us to something that leads us into better framework towards prosperity and abundance. See, what's interesting about Jupiter being in Gemini is it is Jupiter in his detriment. But as soon as he leaves Gemini, come June, it will be Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter in its exaltation. By doing the work now, by pushing for something to be better, by pushing to overcome the obstacles, to overcome the vibration, to overcome the tension, to overcome the things that have been trying to suppress us and hold us down. By doing the work, we have the ability to land somewhere far easier and far more innovative. Now, when I say innovative, I'm not just talking about Jupiter and Cancer there. I'm also talking about the fact that in this mess of vibration that we're about to go through over the next 2 months, Neptune is going to go into Aries. There can be innovation in that. Stagnant energy is over. In the weeks following this new moon, which is this is our last lunation before we actually start eclipse season. And eclipse season, in my opinion, starts with the first one, and that's going to be the full moon in Virgo. That's 2 weeks away. This is our last lunation leading into that. This is the lunation that should be an eclipse but isn't. They're connected. This vibration is setting the stage for a certain kind of knowledge that is soulful, that is spiritual, that is a part of a belief system to take us forward. And who you surround yourself with this time and helps you with understanding your belief system makes a very big difference as to how well or how unwell the upcoming vibration is going to be. It speaks to one another. We're in a buildup of energy. We're in a buildup of transition. We are in a buildup of change. And over the course of the next 2 months, all of March, we've already been in for parts of February. So the last little part of February that we were in, all of March, the first half of April, once we get through all of this, we land somewhere different. For you to land somewhere different, we have to make a change. For some of you, that change is going to be huge, especially my mutable signs. Virgo rising, Pisces rising, Gemini, Sag, you guys, this is big vibration. For others, it's not going to be nearly as big as what it is for them. But that doesn't mean that it's not a part of the plan. You can have small, mundane changes. That doesn't mean that you don't have big changes that are a part of the work. There's a lot coming through. There's a lot going on. And whatever we are trying to transition into, whatever we are trying to push forward, whatever we are trying to recover from, whatever we are trying to build, whatever we are trying to adjust, whatever we are trying to change, whatever we are reshaping, rethinking, repurposing, redoing in our lives, whatever this is, we want it to be solid on the other side. Why do all the work just for something to not go well and not go right? This is the time to do the work. And for a lot of people, whatever that work is, it is a response. It is a reaction to things that have happened over the course of the last year because we don't want to deal with it anymore. Whenever it comes to the idea of Venus is retrograde, yes, some part of it is a survival instinct, but some other part of that is going to be empowered. You will not take over me and who I am and my vibration. You don't get to speak for my healing process. You don't get to speak for me. Whatever happens in the days around this new moon speaks to confidence, rebuilding our confidence to be able to actually put forth the work and the effort, the recovery, the response, the reaction. The actual weight of this new moon is not heavy. It's not. Of all the things that we got going on, this is not heavy. We got to emphasize that as much as possible. But there are lessons. There is aid. There is assistance. There is guidance. There's something here. And it is the most felt between the actual new moon itself, which is going to be February 27th, all the way to the middle of next week. So we're going to say March the 5th. The reason I'm saying that much time is because of the Jupiter-Sun square that's going to go exact on the 2nd. And I want to give a few extra days for that human effect to set in. To get a little more in that balance, a little bit more in that energy, a little bit more in that knowledge and understanding, just a little bit more of whatever that is. Pay attention to what happens over the course of the week following. because it's giving an idea of where we're going to have our boost in confidence, have our change in knowledge, have that shift in our beliefs. And that still can speak to a shift in our confidence. It does not have to be the worst thing in the world. Let's be clear about that. Now, if you have never heard a new moon or full moon video with me before, that is perfectly okay. I read everything from a whole house system. What does that mean? I don't care if your ascendant is at 2 degrees or 22 degrees, wherever it lands in the zodiac sign, that entire zodiac sign is your first house. And then every numerical house that follows is going to be associated with the next zodiac sign. 12 zodiac signs, 12 houses makes it super easy on all of our heads. Whenever it comes down to trying to read the transits, you get the most clarity from it when you actually read it from a whole house system. I don't care what anybody says. That is my absolute opinion on that. Okay, moving along. We're going to get into the charts. Let's get into Aries and Aries risings. All right, my loves. Oh, this is a new moon in your 12th house. The unknown, the unseen, endings, hollow ground, shaky ground, isolation. Sometimes that can be forced isolation. Sometimes that can be like, I need a quarantine to heal. Sometimes that can be prisons and jails and stuff like that. That can be another form of isolation with the 12th house. I'm not wishing that for anybody. I'm being realistic. Now, some of you might be looking at a lot of things coming to a close, coming to an ending. Why do I say that? Because this is a lot of energy in your 12th house. Now, when you have so much going on in your 12th house, you can literally want to just do different forms of isolation. I don't want to be around the same people. I don't necessarily want to be connected to the same people. I don't have the same kind of trust. Now, the thing about you guys is you just had your chart ruler, Mars, into retrograde in your 4th house of home, home life, and family. Some of the people you don't want to be around is your own freaking family. It's people that have been in your household. It is people that you share space with. It can also have to do with something tied to relationships. Now, we also have to pay attention to the fact that the ruler of your 7th house of marriage and relationships, as well as your 2nd house of money, is in your 1st house, and it's about to go retrograde. Some of you might be coming to a close in a relationship. Some of you might be discovering that someone around you has been betraying you. That doesn't have to be relationship specific. Some of you might have some things that go on that end up costing you some money and or making you some money very, very unexpectedly. Now that sounds real rosy and dandy, but again, this is 12th house energy. You could be spending money for unexpected reasons with unexpected consequences because of somebody else's actions. And it's like, because something has gone on with that other person, we don't have the same level of trust. We don't have the same level of desire to be connected to them. We just, it's a hard energy to be in. So some of you are going to be forced to make decisions you don't want to make. We got the Queen of Wands and we got this Two of Swords vibration. In the classic deck, the Two of Swords is a woman holding 2 swords with a blindfold and not wanting to make the decision of which fight she's willing to take on, which sword she's willing to fight with. There's something questioning, something stirring. And over the course of these days between the new moon in Pisces and the weekend when Venus actually goes retrograde, some of you might have certain energies where you are just spinning and stewing and completely unsure and not able to make a decision because of the vibration. And I need people to be prepared for that. It might take you a week to 2 weeks, honestly, before you're able to finally make a decision of what you want to deal with, of what you're willing to take on. These are still the same 2 cards. So in the meantime, we have to look at what's going to be best for everyone. Now, again, for some of you, whatever is going through here with the new moon in your 12th house, this is a death house. This is a healing house. And some of you, whatever you end up having to take on over the course of the next few months might have to do with some level of healing, your own healing, or the healing of a loved one, something that has to do with another person around you. With the Strength card, there's a lot of weight and pressure falling onto you that you're going to have to deal with, that you're going to have to help people overcome, that you're going to have help people with the recovery process. We also have this Death card. It's not an easy energy to go through. Now, the Death card is very Plutonian Scorpio card, but again, the 12th house can be that death, transformation, letting go, cocooning, so we can be reborn, going from the caterpillar to the butterfly to the moth, going through the transition of letting something go, but also knowing to let something go, we're going to have to deal with certain things from the past. Now, this is the Lover's card, but what I'm looking at is the fact that Venus is about to turn retrograde in your first house. Some of what needs to come to the close is the people that we've previously been committed to. That can be a business partner. That's a commitment. That can be an actual relationship. That's a commitment. This can be a legal battle. That's a commitment. So we need to be prepared for how we let go of past commitments, how we let go of previous situations, overcome and heal, so we can land somewhere much, much better on the other side with this 10 of Cups vibration. We want our perfect tens, but we also have to recognize that we're transforming. Aries risings, you guys are changing so deeply over the course of the next few months. And the things that matter to you on the other side will not be the same as where you've left off. But everything that you've left behind, everything that you've overcome, everything that you've worked to heal has changed you as an individual. It's changed the responsibilities you're willing to take. It has changed your belief system. It has changed how you want to progress from here. And for you to reach that next level of progression, we need to do this final round of healing and transformation. Now, that's going off the more spiritual side. For some people, we need to talk about something very mundane. And for a lot of Aries risings, your health is so freaking important. Because over the course of the next 2 lunations, we have the full moon in Virgo, your 6th house of health, and that new moon that's going to be in Aries, that eclipse, which is going to impact you as an individual. It's going to impact your body, your mind, your identity, you. For some people, for you to be able to come onto the other side, there's going to be these deeper impacts that are going to impact your health or the health of someone around you. And even taking care of someone else can still change you as an individual. I know this from experience. Recognize the process of transformation and healing that you need to go through. Trust that the right people are starting to be on your side. And whatever you go into next, whenever it comes to your individual healing, the thing that's impacting your mind, your body, quite literally your head, your lungs, your kidneys, your sexual organs. These are the things that I'm picking up on that can be heavily impacted. Any of these areas, there's a process that's starting to unfold if you are dealing with this all in the health sector. Be aware of that. Okay. Your cards will be posted on Facebook. Moving along. Facebook and Instagram. Okay. For Taurus and Taurus risings, my loves, my loves, my loves, this is a new moon in your 11th house of friends, network, clients, colleagues, community, humanitarianism, the people you choose to share your space with. Now, it's very interesting energy for you guys because you have a new moon in the 11th house squaring Jupiter, the ruler of that 11th, in your 2nd house of money. For some of you, that's going to be some new opportunity that's going to come through from somebody very unexpectedly in your surroundings that's going to impact you financially. Your buddy gives you a job offer. Simple and easy peasy. That's a big possibility. Others are not going to have a job offer. You're in some very uncharted territory. And one of the things I started to say to you in the last lunation was, Y'all need to get real comfortable with being uncomfortable, given that Venus is now in Aries, and also given the fact that we are just within days of your chart ruler turning retrograde. Some of the opportunities that can be coming through right now are a test. Some of you are going to be finally given the opportunity to let go of something from the past, but it's not going to be as simple as, here's my resignation, here's my whatever you need to do, I'm out, deuces, goodbye. No, it'll be a process to end something, a process to close something out. And again, it's not just going to be about one particular situation. It's going to have to do with groups of people. It's going to impact more than one area of your life. So again, you got to get real comfortable with being uncomfortable, given the fact that your chart ruler is turning retrograde in your 12th house. Now, some of you might be having to go through some level of closure that has to do with somebody else's decision, and we immediately get triggered to try to work against it. Now, some of you will be successful by working against it. Others will not. And you need to be prepared that we're kind of going into that fight survival mode situation that I've been talking about over the last week. We've got a lot of things going on in our surroundings. 3 of Wands, whether you like it or not, whether you're coming and going, there's a lot of things that just have to do with what's going on in your surroundings, and as well as new energy that is coming through, new messages, new ideas, new confirmation, new things coming from people in positions of authority. And again, it's impacting not just you, but everyone around you. Some of you are literally going to get the news that your office is getting closed, but it's not going to close tomorrow. It's going to close in 2 months. And they need help in that transition to close it out, to move clients to other places, or to let clients know that they're no longer going to get serviced. Some of you are going to be in those situations where you have to take a new message, Ace of Wands again, and how it impacts the people around you, 3 of Wands vibration. Others, again, you're going to have that opportunity. You have that potential of a job offer. Somebody in your surroundings is asking, hey, do you want to come work over here? You can make more money. There's a big solid office here. There's something much, much better here. And you're questioning, do I leave my comfort zone? Do I leave this situation? Maybe your office isn't closing. Maybe instead the opportunity is how you walk away from something, and you're questioning, is this even the right opportunity to take? This is that 4 of Cups energy. A new opportunity is coming in, but we're hesitant to take it. Do I deserve this? Will I do well? Have I earned it? Will I be successful? For many of you, where we go next is going to have a lot of success. We're getting closer. Here we go. We got this King of Coins energy, and we have the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands has celebration tied to it. It is achievement. It is well-rounded for everyone. We're meant to get recognized. We're meant to be seen differently. We're meant to have a certain opportunity come through that can be, again, beneficial for us financially. We're meant to have these things happen around this time. And that level of recognition with this King of Cups vibration, this is very earthy, Taurus risings. This is very much you. But even to take the opportunity to get somewhere more stable, your final cards is the 4 of Wands, to get somewhere more stable, that means we have to get out of our comfort zone and get real comfortable with being uncomfortable, at least for a little while. Now, I look at the 4 of Wands and I always compare this to chair legs. You want all 4 legs to be stable on the floor before you put your ass on the seat. This opportunity that can be coming through might be coming through at a time where you are questioning if anything can be stable. Many of you are questioning, is there any stability out there? And there is. It's just going to take time to land in it. It's just going to take time to go for it. But here's the long game vibration. After Venus goes direct, after the Venus retrograde is over, and we get into the summertime, Uranus, which has been in your first house since 2018, he's been there forever. The ruler of your 10th house of career is going to be moving into Gemini. It's moving into your second house of money once we get into the summertime, specifically around July 4th, quite literally Independence Day. Yes, I know. July 4th timeframe. That is, again, the ruler of your 10th going into your second house of money. Whether you're losing a job right now, that job loss is going to be a blessing, or whether you're gaining some type of opportunity to go somewhere else, the opportunity is a blessing. But to start the process of letting go of whatever we need to let go of and transition into something else, it will be a process. Many of you are going to have to train someone to take over where you have previously been, or you're going to go into some place after being independent for a while where you have to trust in someone else and get familiar with a process that you're not used to doing. That doesn't mean that it's a bad opportunity. Pay attention to the opportunities that are coming through and know that some of what's coming through right here is supposed to be that transformational, transitional energy to take you into something new for the long term. But that also means quit being so damn stubborn, get out of your rut. Okay, your cards will be posted on Instagram and Facebook. I want to keep trying to say that and remind people that. Moving along. For Geminis and Gemini risings. Okay, my loves, this is a new moon in your 10th house of career. The ruler of your 10th house of career is in your first house. By God, it is time for something to go different in this area, isn't it, guys? We need something different. We need a different opportunity. We need something to start to work differently. We need to start connecting to new people. We need some of the people that we've worked with in the past to kind of show us where there's opportunity coming through. Now, I know that sounds kind of hinky. What I'm looking at is the fact that Venus rules your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, and endings, and is about to go retrograde in your 11th house of friends and network and clients and colleagues. There's a transition coming. Now, for a lot of you, that transition over the course of the next few months, this is the start of a process that might uproot you a little bit. We might be looking at the idea of that for us to get where we need to go in career, we need to move. Quite literally. We need to change something. We need to go in a different direction. We need to trust the other side and trust the other person. Some of you, you're not moving because you want to move. You're moving because that's what's necessary for your significant other. Why do I say that? Because Jupiter also rules your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. The other side is having a heavy influence as to where we go next. And for us to get to a certain point, we have to start looking at a change in our goals, a change in our public image, a change in our career. And I will remind you guys that this is a new moon that is not an eclipse. So some of the changes that we start making here, for some people, they're 6 months in the making. They're going to go back to the last eclipse. For other people, we're going to finally start making certain decisions and plant some seeds for what will unfold in the next eclipse in Pisces. And again, that's not happening until September. Some of you are planting seeds. Some of you are seeing some sprouts. It really kind of comes down to where we're at from previous decisions that have been made. Some of you made really big, good decisions last fall. Some of you didn't make any decisions last fall. You just took the emotional part and you went with the healing process. I'm not dogging you if you went with the healing process. A lot of you needed to heal. A lot of you did. But a lot of you are starting to go into some level of transition and change in regards to where you're at in career, and where you're going next is really going to come down to where you want to land and how you want to land. With the Venus retrograde, it's going to impact both that 11th house of friends, network, clients, colleagues, and this 10th house of career. So for a lot of you, whatever is going on in this vibration is going to change the way you connect to certain people. Now, again, for some of you, that has to do with some seeds that were planted a long time ago. For others, it is you planting new seeds now, knowing that it might take a few months before you see the results, before you land in something better. This is a transitional energy that's a part of a big 2-month process for many people. But for you guys, it can be just a smidge longer because of how long Jupiter will be in your first, which he's not leaving until June, but also knowing that part of the next year is going to be Uranus moving into Gemini. And that's going to happen between July and November. So a lot of this energy can either be seeing the first few sprouts of something that we did before. Seven of Coins, this is very much about seeds. For others, it is trying to imagine the potential of the seeds we are planting now, because we're trying to build something that is going to be a lot more stable for ourselves and the things that speaks to our heart desire, or we're making moves because of our partner. It's funny that these two came out together, by the way. So let them actually look at each other. Now, for some of you, Jupiter in your first house is you are having to make a decision, not because of the career, but because of maybe a business partner, because of your significant other, because of your spouse. And their impact is pushing a decision onto you because, again, everything that's going on in Pisces, Jupiter's in your first house. The ruler of all of that is in your first house. So some of you are making career changes. Some of you are having to make some changes over the course of the next 2 months, not for career, but for your significant other, for your partner. And that's going to be a lot of work. I want to be absolutely clear about that. There's going to be a lot of burdens that we start to unload. There's going to be also a lot of burdens taken on to make certain changes. That whenever it comes to moving and boxes and everything else, that's a lot of overwhelm. This is an old card coming back up. But with that 9 of Wands energy, there is a very close potential of overcoming a burden. We're getting close to being done with a situation, with being done with a place, with being done with something. And it just means letting a few more things play out, doing a few more days of work, letting a few more things come about for us to finally land in something different. We're almost done with an overwhelm. We're almost over a situation. It's not quite over yet with the 9 of Wands. Your final card here is this 4 of Coins. Now, for the 4 of Coins, for some people, you need to keep your money close to your chest. For other people, you're going to have to spend some money to make some money. Here's the deal. Mars's retrograde was in your second house of money. For some of you to be able to go into where you're going to go next, the only way you're going to be able to get to wherever you want to be more independent of others. Remember, long game energy, Uranus is coming into your first. That means investing in yourself. For some people, that's going to go back to school. For other people, that's going to be investing in a certain product so you can start your own business. And even that would take time to manifest, time to unfold, time to do something different. But there's a lot of potential for Gemini risings to go into business for themselves over the course of the next 2 years. And even if you look at the idea of going into business for yourself, because a lot of you are, you're planting the seeds right now with that 7 of Coins. You're planting seeds. You're doing the homework. You're doing the research. You're doing the market, reconnaissance of like who likes what sells, where to sell, what to do with whatever you're going to do. Buying the product, buying the machinery, putting down the rent for whatever location, knowing that the return might be 6 months down the road when we get to our actual Pisces eclipse. For some of you, it's going to be a mix of multiple things. You're going to be making changes within your home life, within your partnership, for your partnership, knowing that once you guys land in that new place, your significant other got a promotion, job transfer, whatever. Once you land in that other place, you have to start over too. You have to do something different too. And as opposed to trying to find a 9 to 5 or whatever, You have to look at the long run of maybe investing in yourself in a different way. So that way, wherever you go next, or however long you're in this location, that it's profitable for you. And many of you are getting to a vibration where you're going to end up investing in yourself. Some people got to spend money to make money. Okay. Moving along. Your cards will be posted on Facebook and Instagram. Moving along. We're going to get to Cancers and Cancer risings. I love you guys so much. You don't believe me. I know that right now. Dusty, you've been giving us shit forever. Mars's retrograde has been horrible forever. I'm not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm sure you're not. It's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel whenever you're going through hell. That's what a Mars retrograde is. He's the god of war, not the god of sunshine and roses. That's supposed to be Venus, but even her stuff is messy. Anyways. Oh, Mars is direct now. That's the good thing. You got a new moon in your 9th house. Higher education, higher learning, travel. Looking at the idea of travel. But it's happening simultaneous to Venus turning retrograde in your 10th house of career. We're looking at new opportunities. For some of you, that means going back to school, doing some kind of training, learning in the moment, taking on some type of experience. Even if you have to go somewhere to get some kind of experience and travel, there's knowledge in the vibration. We're looking at something new that is going to impact our career. It's going to impact where we're going next. And wherever we're going next takes rounds, layers, levels. It's not a one and done situation. There's work to be done. I've warned of this. Some of you are worried you've missed some opportunity. That's not necessarily true. A lot of you are having to make certain decisions that you have not been ready to face yet, not been willing to face yet. But you're there. You're there. Many of you have to look at new truths, new ideas, and new opportunities. So that way you can finally get to where you're going next. That's a very interesting vibration for many of you. So, here is that 5 of Cups. A lot of us get very, very drawn, suckered into, focused on what I don't have, what I'm missing out on, what's not there. The 5 of Cups talks about that. But the thing about the 5 of Cups is there's 3 spilt cups, 3 things that are missing, but there are 2 cups that are full. You have 2 hands. Stay focused on what you have ahead of you, what you have control of, what you have in your grasp. Because remember, cups are refillable. Just because something goes missing does not mean that you cannot replace it. The cup isn't broken. Hopefully. And even if it is, it's replaceable. Cups are refillable. Remember that we have not missed out on an opportunity. And many of you are now going to finally be able to connect to certain levels of change that we've been hesitant to connect to with this death card. The death card is a phoenix card. We go through levels of transformation. Mars's retrograde has been a process of transformation. You had to go through the heavy stuff to understand the lighter stuff. You had to go through the test energy for you to understand what is unfolding and unlocking ahead of you. Mars rules your 10th house of career. And everything that's going to follow over the next few months is in that 10th house of career, goals, public image. So much is unfolding ahead of you. You just have to stop being so focused on what we're leaving behind, what we're missing, and allow for that transformation to finally take shape and make the decisions we have not wanted to make. 2 of Swords. We've been struggling to make this decision. We've been struggling to step out of our box. We are struggling to overcome. But really, if you harness Mars moving forward, so much can speak to the level of confidence and new wealth, new money, the new potential moving forward. You have this Page of Coins and you have the Six of Wands. This vibration is successful. It's achievement. It's harnessing something new and different and abundant. Now, sometimes with the page, it can have to do with kids. Well, Mars rules your fifth house of children too. And even to be able to help them achieve something, we still have to do something different. We have to let go of the false ideals of what a family should look like and pay attention to what you can create on your own. Some of you are still struggling with letting go of old partnerships, the ones that have been holding us back. Pluto's not in Capricorn anymore. And some of the people that used to hold you back are no longer as powerful above you and against you as you previously let them be. Please let us know I said that. I suddenly got a lisp when I was saying all that. As you've previously let them be, they're not in charge of you anymore. Mars in your first is a strength that you need to harness now. The retrograde is over. And as you harness more of it, more things will fall into place. It's just accepting a whole new level of truth for yourself. New information is coming. Decisions are coming. Impacts are coming. And for some of you to fall into place of where you need to be in some new opportunity, that means we have to go back to school in some way, training in some way, education in some way is coming. But once you get through the training, once you get through the trial, once you get through the tryout, once you get through that little bit, where you land has a long-term potential that is magnanimous. You just have to make the decisions and accept the new truth to move forward. Okay. Your cards are posted on Facebook and Instagram. Moving along. moving along. We're going to get to Leos and Leo risings. Okay. Now, my loves, this is a new moon in your 8th house, which is a financial house. The entire eclipse axis over the course of the next year and a half is in your financial houses. We got a lot of financial changes coming. Taxes, debt, inheritance, insurance payouts, crypto payouts, stock payouts. We got new things going in this financial sector. And for some of you, it's going to reach levels of payout. Now, is it paying you out in this moment? Not necessarily. You might finally get the confirmation that your inheritance, just going off that as an example, is coming, but it's coming in a few weeks. It's like you finally get the notice like, yeah, this disbursement's scheduled to come out March 15th, March 12th, whatever. And that's a good thing. Now, for some of you, what you're seeing is a change in finances tied to another person, tied to a partner, because the 8th house is not always your money. It's the 2nd house from the 7th. So some of us are going to be seeing financial changes tied to another person and new opportunities going there. And that new opportunity can lead to things falling onto your plate in the long run. But in a lot of ways, in the immediate, you might actually feel like you're being left out in the cold, left out in the dust, that you're not being seen for all the work that you've put through. In fact, you feel like you're being, kind of looked over in a couple different ways. And that's not an easy energy to deal with. Whenever you're feeling like that, it can feel like some level of betrayal. That's not necessarily true, but it is a way that some people can feel. Mars's retrograde in your guys' 12th house has made it very, very hard to trust certain people, trust certain situations. It has been a form of like feeling more and more isolated from others. Not necessarily feeling like you can trust other people, and not necessarily feeling like you're getting your fair shot from them. It's brought out a lot of insecurities tied to other people. That's the truth. However, the insecurities was in temporary energy. That vibration was temporary energy. And a lot of where we're going next is going to finally put us more into balance. Here's your first card. It's the Temperance card. Wherever we start to go next over these next few months can do something very, very great with putting our head and heart back into alignment. But it is going to take the entire 2-month vibration for us to understand what that means and what that looks like with this Temperance card. So again, we have this Tower card, things falling apart, certain things in our life falling apart, certain relationships in our life falling apart, not necessarily feeling like there's been a whole lot of structure. Again, Mars is retrograde going into your 12th house has this way of like feeling insecure and bringing up every level of insecurity, and also making us deal with different levels of betrayal, either feeling like other people have betrayed us or that we've been forced into some form of isolation because we can't rely on other people. Betrayal has been a topic of conversation. We have this Three of Swords and we have the Tower card. That was all temporary energy. And what we start to do next is going to be our response and our reaction to how we understand and how we move away from feeling left behind. Now, for some of you to be able to make certain steps forward, that means we have to make some kind of promising decision. Got this Ace of Coins vibration to go in a new direction, to learn something new, invest in ourselves. Sometimes investing in ourselves is like, I just need a vacation. I've got to get out of town. I got to get out of Dodge. I don't want to be in this. If that's what you need to revamp, revitalize, and get better, then do it. For other people, though, you're looking at the idea of investing in yourself to go back to school, to connect to people differently again, to try connecting in a whole new way. And something that, again, speaks to kind of our heart's content with this King of Cups. We want to be able to start to achieve something differently, to be seen differently, because the people that we've relied on in the past have shown us that we can't rely on them for a multitude of reasons. So we have to look at some direction of going somewhere new. And again, connecting with something or someone new with the Lover's card. Now, here's the deal. I still don't like new relationships. Venus retrograde is infamous for bringing back some old people. And if you find yourself over the next few months having like an old person come back around, then that person is likely a test. If you have a new person come around, but their energy is super familiar, it's because it's the same karmic test with a different face. And you guys need to be aware that we are in a testing energy. So be aware that sometimes the commitments and the Lover's card vibration right here is going to be a test for you in relationship. I still don't like relationships until we get into the latter half of April. The Venus retrograde is the other half as to why. And once we get into the latter half of April, Mars is going to be in your first house. And that's going to be so much better for your confidence level. Everything that we do over the course of the next 2 months has something to do with rebuilding our confidence, learning a new way of doing things, learning a new way of handling things. Yes, some elements of that's financial. Some of you are going to be dealing with something tied to schooling, your kids' schooling. You're going to be dealing with institutions and having to fix certain things in this area. But whenever you overcome the tests of the next 2 months, it's going to put you into a different level of alignment moving forward. And again, that latter half of April is where we start to finally feel confident again. Everything in the meantime is helping you rebuild confidence in that direction. Okay, your cards are going to be posted on Facebook and Instagram. Moving along. For Virgos and Virgo risings, this is a new moon in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and legal matters and other people. We got some commitments going on. New potential commitments, new potential business partners, new potential relationships. I don't know if I like the relationship aspect. Let's be clear about that. But we got some new coming through for sure. Now, your chart ruler, Mercury, is in your 7th house of relationships. And right as we go through this weekend, Mercury is going to enter shadow. That tells me that over the course of these next 2 months of where we have the change with the Venus retrograde for you guys, we need to talk about Mercury's retrograde. I didn't really pick up on this with Gemini. I'm picking up on it with you. Some of you are going to learn some secrets. You're going to learn about some things that have been going on the other side, that it's going to make you want to purge people that you've been connected to very, very quickly. People that haven't been the right fit. You have a CYA mentality as you're focusing on these new partnerships, as you're focusing on the people that you trust and that you rely on. You're going to learn very, very quickly that not everyone is who they say they are. Now, for some of you, you are going to be changing so much over the course of the next 2 months that other people are going to say, you're not the same. You're not who I thought you were. You're not who you used to be. You're just not. You're not what I want. You're not how I thought this was going to go. I don't believe in you the same way anymore. And their opinion of you is going to change. There'll be a lot of opinions all of a sudden whenever it comes to other people. For some of you, you're going to be very focused on a partnership, whether that is a business partnership or a relationship. You're going to be very focused on this partnership vibration. And again, there's going to be a lot of things that change very, very quickly. Your opinion of someone going through this new moon will not be the same by the time we get to the end of the Mars retrograde. Your opinion of a situation, your opinion of another person, your opinion of a legal matter, your opinion of a partnership, there is something about that other side you will be seeing very, very differently over the course of these next 2 months. And for some people, that's going to be great. The whole dynamic of how you connect other people is going to change through the Mercury retrograde because it's combined with the Venus retrograde. But for others, as you step forward and you move forward more in this new vibration, and you're taking on more and more of the things that brings your heart's content, what you'll start to realize as the things go faster and faster is that there's some people that can't keep up with you and what you're working on. They can't handle the speed. And because they can't handle it, they're going to try to project their blame onto you. You're pushing too hard. You're being too harsh with your words, Knight of Swords. You're trying to make something happen faster than it should, Knight of Swords. You're doing too much. Well, that's not necessarily true. You're trying to achieve something. You're trying to overcome something. The thing about Jupiter being in your 10th house of career and knowing that what's following later is going to be Uranus going into your 10th house of career is so much of where you're going next requires moving fast, quick like rabbit, not slow like turtle. And that means creating things in a lot of ways that was not previously there with this magician, as well as overcoming so many past burdens with this Nine of Wands. As you create more and more, as you instigate more and more, we're able to solve problems as soon as they're coming up. Nine of Wands. And we're getting closer to getting to the other side of something, getting into something new, getting into a new way of making money. Neptune's going to go into Aries, having a new image in regards to what you're doing in career, doing something very, very innovative. Uranus is going to go into Gemini. That's a little bit further off, but we're getting closer and closer to this vibration. And many of you have a path unfolding in front of you with this King of Wands vibration, but not everybody is clear on the path. Not everybody's clear on the momentum. Not everybody's clear on what you're doing. And they're not good at communicating it. You need to ask all the questions and not some. Don't assume anything right now. The people that you're connecting with, the people that you're talking to over these next few weeks, do not assume anything. Cross your I's, dot your T's, cover your ass on all levels. Because of your opinion of how something is going to go right now is going to change. And if you don't cover your ass, that change can come back to bite you. But if you do ask all the right questions and do the things that you need to do in this vibration, the response, the reaction, and everything else that follows can be magnanimous. So make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's in every way possible moving forward. Okay. Your cards will be posted on Facebook and Instagram. I'm trying to get better at telling people that. All right, Libras and Libra risings. Oh, for a lot of you, there's a lot of health stuff. For a lot of you, there's a lot of work stuff. For a lot of you, there's some legal stuff coming up. There's stuff tied to that other side. And for some of you, whatever happens next can have some very big public implications. Please note how I said implications. The ruler of your seventh house of relationships is in your 10th house of career and public image. Your chart ruler, Venus, is in your seventh house of relationship. It's in that other person. It's focused on that other side. It's looking at a deal. It's looking at a partnership. It's looking at an opportunity. Now, this is a new moon in your sixth house of health, how you care for yourself, how you care for other people, how you are of service. Now, for some of you, you got a new job coming up. And your focus right now is doing whatever is necessary to make that other side happy, to get everything panned out for that other side more so than yourself. And there's a lot of actions and reactions that you are about to fall into. It's a whole new part of your routine. For some of you, it's going to be a very overwhelming, fast-paced change. It's just coming down to which path you decide to take. Some of you, whenever you have said job opportunity, you don't want to take it. It wasn't necessarily planned. Somebody else on the other side is saying, oh, well, we think it would be so great if you would just do this. Really? Why? Why is that your opinion? Why is that the direction you think that you should go, that I should go? Why is this the factor? And it really comes down to their opinion. We got this King of Swords, the very first one coming out. So much of the vibration is going to be focused on that seventh house of other people. Now, for some of you, that means you're helping other people get through a situation, and even helping them get through a situation is going to have a public aspect. For some of you are going to be dealing with a legal matter, Venus in the seventh, and whatever comes of it is going to have a public aspect. I'm saying all of this because so much crap is going to happen in Aries while Mars is in your 10th house of career and public image. There's a reshaping, a rethinking, a repurposing, a revitalizing. There's new truths. We got this, again, the King of Swords, and new opportunities coming through. The next two cards is going to be your Ace of Coin and your Two of Wands. Now, for some of you, either right before this new moon or during this new moon, an opportunity is unfolding. Mars is now direct. An opportunity from another side. Something has been offered. And your focus right now is whether I should take this offer or not. Two of Wands. Now, for some of you, there's no questions about it. Absolutely, hands down. I want this job. I want this partnership. I want this money. I want something. And we're making the choice to go down a new path. For others, you're hesitant. And as much as we love the new opportunity, Ace of Coins, Two of Wands again, there can be overwhelm with the impact that's going to follow. Some of you are going to question whether you should follow this path, the Queen of Wands. Others are going to have to deal with repercussions with the Queen of Cups. If you're dealing with legal matters over the course of the next 2 months, there can be a lot of he said, she said vibration. It doesn't always have to be he. She, her, them, that. Could be saying some things. That's what I mean by he said, she said. There'll be a lot of things that come from the other side that has some level of an impact in regards to your public career, your public image, your goals of where you're going next. Some of you, what starts to happen in that public aspect is going to be based off of the words of another person. And it doesn't always have to be good. That Seven of Cups is an overwhelm card. Some of you are going to take an opportunity, and as soon as you go into that new opportunity, it's going to be met with overwhelm. It's going to be met with frustration. You're going to be questioning whether you did the right thing or not. Time will tell for many people. Most are doing the right thing. See, over the course of the next month and a half after this new moon, we go into eclipse season. That first eclipse is in your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, and endings. And this is setting the stage for where we're going to have an ending. But we also are going into a whole new level of long-term commitment with that Aries eclipse. This is setting the stage, building our confidence, showing the opportunity, showing us an area of where we start to fight to rebuild our confidence. It's setting the stage for where we go next. This new information, this lesson in the vibration, this new opportunity. For some people, it will be an olive branch. For other people, it is going to start a very big vibration of revealing certain things that you might not like coming to the surface. Some people you've been given grace. For some of you, you've given too much grace to another person. And whatever will start to come out next, again, whether you are spilling the beans or other people are spilling the beans, is going to have a public vibration behind it. Public, known, seen. Be prepared for the good and the bad. Okay, your cards will be posted on Instagram and Facebook. Moving along. We're going to get to Scorpios and Scorpio risings. We are not the problem. Let's start with that. We are not the problem. We're not. Other people might say we're the problem, but that's not necessarily the case. They're just blaming Mars and anything related to Mars, and we're not the problem. Let's be clear. Okay, we can start with that. Oh, a new moon in Pisces is a new moon in our fifth house of love and luck and joy and romance and happiness and children. Playful vibration, creative vibration. We have a shift in our luck. Considering this is a new moon, loosely squaring Jupiter in that eighth house, it can be financial luck too. Now, Venus is retrograde, is starting in our sixth house of health, how we care for ourselves, how we care for other people, how we are of service, how others have taken care of us. And there can be things that are going to be revealed, reshaped, and brought to the surface regarding that area. Some of us, our shift in our luck has to do with the fact that we got new jobs. We got new things going on. We got new business to do. We got shit to do. And some of that shift in our luck is because we're doing the work. And that's not a bad thing. In fact, it's exactly what it needs to be, considering how the vibration is going to go over the course of the next few months. A lot of us are finding a whole new purpose, a whole new way of doing things. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we weren't doing something the correct way before. Sometimes we have to advance and expand what we were doing before. And that advancement, that expansion is the shift in our luck. It's the shift in our wealth. It's the expansion of the other side. It's taking us into a different direction. So we have certain things that are starting to unfold that is meant to shift our luck. We have this Page of Cups vibration. New things that speak to our heart's content, new opportunities. For some of you, there will be new things going on around your actual children. Fifth house new moon with this Page of Cups. It can actually have to do with children. The one thing that I do not like, and we're almost there, guys. Just give me like, it's not even a full 2 months. It's not even a full 2 months. April 13th is not that far away. And that'll be like our new day where we can start looking at the potential of new relationships and all like and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like right now is the potential of new relationships, especially for us. Because that temporary vibration of the Venus retrograde, it can bring back old lovers, old connections, and old relationships. And some of those people are going to be asking, like, why didn't we work out? Five of Cups vibration. Why didn't this work? And even you could be questioning, like, why didn't this work? And some of you are going to have some things that come back around that kind of let us know, remind our intuition, High Priestess. It's like as soon as you sit down with that person at coffee going, I suddenly remember why we didn't work out. I suddenly remember certain things. It's hitting my spine, High Priestess energy. The intuition kicks in, like, and it's all internal, like, oh yeah. We weren't a good fit. You were too childish. I worked too much. Something wasn't right. The two of this wasn't going to vibe. And I want people to be prepared that in some of this vibration, there can be lessons. as to why certain things didn't vibe before. But those lessons are to prepare us because we have new things that are going to come through later. And it's much, much stronger for us whenever we get into the later vibration. Trust me. Okay. Now, with the Four of Swords, there's preparation here. Some of us have to be prepared for how much more work, how much more effort, how busy we're about to be when it comes to March and April. Some of us are not prepared. And you're going to have to do whole new shifts in your routine to be able to get to where you want to be. But that's not anything that we can't handle. Queen of Coins vibration, we want that luck. We want that wealth. We want the new chapter. We want the new routine. We want to be successful. And that vibration towards success will follow very, very quickly whenever it comes to the fact that by the time we get to late April, Mars, one of our chart rulers, is going to be back in our 10th house of career. The potential of success is great over the course of the next 6 months. Focus on your success. Everything else will fall into place on its own. The last card also speaks to that. We have the Six of Wands. That's achievement. It's success. It's being seen in a whole different way. We have a certain amount of work and preparation that we're doing right now, a whole new way of doing things, shifts in our routine that will have layers and levels and rounds to it. But as we get to the other side, and again, we build on that something new, what comes from the success will be far more beneficial to our luck, to our wealth, to the opportunities that are coming through. So again, trust the process. Things are unfolding for us exactly the way that they're supposed to be right now. Now, for some of you, that's really hard to hear. And we want to blame the Mars retrograde, and we want to blame Pluto being in Aquarius. We want to blame something in the sky saying, it's doing me dirty. But it's not. Everything in the vibration has been forcing us into alignment. And everything that we start to clear and we start to detach from over the course of this next few months, many of us are already feeling the levels of detachment. We're not meant to connect to certain people the same way anymore. And there are some people in our lives that they should never have been more than a friend. And there's a reason for those levels of detachment and moving away from an old vibration and moving away from an old thing. There's a reason for it. Be prepared, be aware, and let things happen naturally. Start living in alignment with the energy versus fighting it. And I've seen a bunch of Scorpio risings like losing their mind lately. Stop fighting it and let things happen naturally. Stop trying to control. Stop. Trust me. We got to. Okay, moving along. Moving along. All right. Oh, for Sagittarius and Sagittarius risings. This is a new moon in your 4th house of home life, family, roots, ancestry, genetics, mothers, matrons. Things can be going on with your mama. Things can be going on in the family. Things can be going on in the home life. Certain things can be coming back up that actually do tie to that genetics. There's so many times that I've seen the ruler of the 7th during a 4th house new moon. It's like somebody's like pushing the paperwork to prove that so-and-so is actually related. You'd be really shocked. Some of you are starting to look at something very, very new in your home life, new within your family, based off of a relationship, based off of the fact that Jupiter is in your 7th house of marriage. And again, for us to get to this new routine and this new potential, there's work to be done. That means making the decisions of either, are we buying, one bigger house for both of our families to live in together, for all the kids to live in together? Or like, how are we going to do this? And sometimes that's going to have some tension tied to it. Sometimes that's going to have to do with some fighting. Some of you are starting to tell your partner, hey, I've got a new job opportunity. That might mean that we need to look at moving in the next 6 months. Are you sure? Absolutely. It's real big. It's right in front of me. I'm telling you now, there's a new opportunity here. For some of you, the new opportunity that's starting to unfold is meaning that you're going to finally move into a place of your own, that bigger place. We're not going to live with our roommate anymore. We're not going to live with our parents anymore. Instead, we're going to look at the opportunity of within the next 6 months, I can afford my own apartment. I can afford to do something different. And not everybody's going to like the fact that that's going on, but there is definitely a new path unfolding with that Two of Wands vibration. Now, the Two of Wands, we're looking at the potential of two paths. We've gone a certain way for so long, and now we need to look at the idea of looking at another direction. Which path do we take? Which is the right avenue? There's a new path unfolding. And considering one part of the eclipse axis, this is a new moon that's building to the eclipse energy, is going to be a full moon in your 10th house of career. There's new opportunities coming by going down the other path, by taking on the other energy. There's a lot of work to be done. We got this Three of Coins vibration right here. And I always look at this one like, this is redneck work. This is hard work. We got the oil field. This is a very Texas card. So we have a lot of work that's being done, a lot of work that's unfolding around us. And for some of us, that means making commitments to another side. Now, this is the Lovers card, but I want to be clear. Lovers does not actually have to mean actual love. It's two people coming together. It is a commitment, business partners, signing a contract. It is a commitment. We have the potential of a whole new set of commitments that are coming to light around this vibration, either right before the new moon or right after the new moon. And we actually literally have the moon right here. Now, remember with the moon, one, Mars's retrograde was just in your 8th house. That's the moon sign. That's a financial house. Some of the changes that are going on have a financial impact. Some of what's going on might not have completely revealed itself quite yet with this moon card. Remember, the moon does not project its own light. It reflects the light off of the sun. So there's a certain amount of things that are coming to light over the course of the weeks following this new moon. And in some ways, there's going to be tension and pressure. For some of us, we're going to be forced to make certain decisions. For others, whatever starts to come through is just one more step and challenge to get you to a point of where you wish to be with this Empress card. I desire this level of career. I desire this level of success. I desire this direction. I desire this path. I desire this hope. And for me to reach this goal, I have to make certain decisions. By reaching this goal, I will be able to achieve other things in the future. So it's not just about one part of the vibration. There's a lot going on, and you're going to see changes within the household, within your family and their dynamics. Everyone's going through changes. Everybody's hitting very big transitions. And for some of you, it's even going to be transitions that start to impact your children, given the way the next 2 months are going to go. And given the fact that this weekend, the Venus retrograde starts in your 5th house of children, and be things that are going to be impacting your children, whether you like it or not. Okay, moving along. Your cards will be posted on Facebook and Instagram. Moving along. Okay, for Capricorns and Capricorn risings, my loves, this new moon's not in a heavy place. It's in your 3rd house. Communication, marketing, branding, short distance travel, education. Who are we talking to? What are we planning? What are we working on? Are you marketing yourself? Are you coming to some other different term of like how you want to socialize? Are we starting to communicate something a little bit different? Are we traveling around the new moon? I mean, that's the most mundane thing. Travel. We got to go somewhere. We want to do something. Now, the Venus retrograde is starting in your 4th house of home life, and family. Mars was just retrograde in your 7th house of relationships. Some of the things that are going to impact your family, your home life, might be tied to another person because of the Mars retrograde in your 7th house. An opportunity, a partnership from the other side that is going to impact your home life, whether in the immediate or the long run is yet to be seen. But over the course of the next few months, There's a lot of change coming through. And for some of you, it's going to relocate you. It's going to change the dynamic of your household. It is going to change the dynamic of your family. It is going to change how you connect to mothers, matrons in that regard. There's an adjustment coming. Is it promising? For some of you, it is. For some of you, whether you listen to me or not, that Mars retrograde has brought someone into your home life. It has brought someone into the family. It's brought somebody into the fold. We've pursued something. We were pursued, Queen of Wands. There's so much that speaks to like being pursued in this vibration. There's something here that has come through that we've achieved. For some people, that achievement has been some level of stability. For some of us, the goal is to achieve stability. We have the Four of Wands here. I always compare the Four of Wands to chair legs. Do you want all four chair legs on the ground before you put your ass on the seat? There is stability in the moment, in the decision, in what's being communicated. There's stability coming through. Now, I wouldn't normally say that with a Venus retrograde. So this might be more stability that's going to happen over the course of the long run. But for us to get to that long run achievement, that means we have to make some adjustments in the house. And again, some of you are looking at the idea of making an adjustment here because we're making space for something or someone to move in. We still got that Four of Wands. We're going to keep this going. Oh, we have the Six of Wands. This is all very promising cards, by the way. We have the Queen of Coin. We have the Ten of Coin. And we have the Lover's card. This new moon is setting the stage for the rampant change and busyness that will be over the course of the next 2 months. Well, over the course of the next 2 months, we're going to have a new moon in your fourth house of home, life, and family, Venus retrograde in that fourth house, Mercury retrograde in that fourth house. And that vibration does not end until we get to the full moon in Libra, which is your 10th house of career. And that's going to happen on April 12th. We got a roller coaster ride of change. And for some of you, that change is going to require movement, moving, looking at opportunities outside of where you've been to achieve the promise, the potential, the financial success that we wish, that Six of Wands and this Queen of Coins. Again, and it's followed by this Lover's card and the Ten of Coins. Some of you, you're making changes for someone else to finally move in. You're changing something in your household. You're making space. Kids are bunking up in one room because these kids are moving into another one. We're allowing someone to move in so that way we can have something different in our household. There's a multitude of areas that are starting to unfold, and this might be where we start to communicate the decision to, he's moving in, she's moving in, we're going to move into the new house next month. We need to start going through some of our stuff right now. We need to purge. We need to sell some stuff off. We need to look at something different. We're going to get new furniture. This is going to go. And we're starting the process of a transition. But for a lot of you, the transition is based off that other side somehow. It's letting the partner move in. It's dealing with the other side. It's helping our family. It's moving in with our mom to take care of them, moving in with our dad to take care of them. It's based off of helping that other side. And for many of you, the whole timeline of Saturn and Pisces has been about you learning a new way of healing so you can handle the responsibilities that are about to come. Because not only are we having all of those other things go into Aries, but in the long run, by May, we're going to get our first dose of Saturn, your chart ruler, going into Aries. So there's a whole different dynamic of things that are going to impact the home life and impact the family. All right. Your cards will be posted on Facebook and Instagram. We're moving this along. Oh, for Aquarius and Aquarius risings. Oh, my loves. This is a new moon in your second house of money, your assets, your stuff. One of your chart rulers is also in your second house of money, and that would be Saturn. Your other chart ruler, Uranus, is doing his final few months in Taurus. So we got some things that need to come to a close, something that needs to get wrapped up. Now, a new moon in Jupiter's sign, while Jupiter is in your fifth house of children, love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children. Many of you are looking at the potential of either what it's going to take to finally get something done differently around the kids, around your children. We're going to have to look at something different in regards to home life, in regards to our work process. There's going to be some training. There's something coming through that's going to impact our finances. For some of you, that means learning something new, communicating with a whole new set of people. That new communication, that new part of your routine is going to have like layers and levels to what it represents and what it means. And for a lot of you, the energy of the next few months is going to be a long time in the making, and it's going to be a long time of unfolding, given the way your cards come out. So we're going to start with this. We got this 7 of Coins energy. Now, again, when it comes to this Pisces new moon, it isn't an eclipse, but it should be. We had the eclipse last September. So for some of you, whatever starts to unfold over the next 2 months is something that is 6 months in the making. 7 of Coins, that's a seed card. For some of you, the decisions that we start to make right here might take 6 months to completely unfold. And again, 7 of Coins vibration. Some of us are either planting seeds or we're starting to see some things come to light. We're starting to see some things sprout up, and we do have this Sun card following it. Financial changes, asset changes are in the mix. And some of us have to go through the next few months of transition and learning things and reshaping things and recommunicating things and going through a whole process of things so we can finally settle something up on the other side. Now we have this Justice card. Everything's going to happen in Mars' sign. At the end of everything in Aries, the Venus retrograde that starts in Aries, Mercury retrograde that starts in Aries, the Aries eclipse is going to happen at the end of March. Neptune going into Aries, Saturn going into Aries. Whenever we go through all of that vibration, what we're also going to deal with is the ruler of Aries, Mars, is going to go back into your 7th house of relationships and legal matters. Some of us have to do a whole different shift in a multitude of areas, communicate a multitude of things to finally get a legal situation handled, Justice card, or to handle a situation tied to the other side and tied to the other person. Now, some of us, whatever we start to deal with in the next few months, again, it's a response and a reaction to all of the frustration that we've had. And that means overcoming some fear, 9 of Swords vibration right here, overcoming some fear of being locked in a mental prison, of being locked in the past. We're not in the past anymore. We're not locked in the mental prison anymore. And everything that we do to overcome past situations is allowing a new passion to come through with this Page of Wands energy. New passions, new ideas, new ways of connecting to people, new ways of doing things, new ways of learning things. And in the long run, it is better to be lucky than smart with this 9 of Cups. That's always what I feel with the 9 of Cups. Luck and fortune can favor the bold. This is the last new moon before we go into eclipse season. But where are the eclipses going to be? One is going to be in your 8th house, which is a financial house. Finance is tied to other people, tied to legal matters, levels of payouts, inheritance, taxes, child support, things along these lines. And I'm looking again, Jupiter's in your 5th house, so there can be some child support stuff there. In addition to that, though, it can also be all be work related. Mars and that Mars retrograde in your 6th house, which is a health house and a work house, Mars also rules your 10th house of career. So some of what we start to go forward to next can be changes that have a financial impact and also change the way that you connect to people. Role changes, company changes. And to do the role changes, that means taking on new knowledge, training new people, doing the things, putting forth all the effort to do something new in this career outlet and connect to people differently. And the way that you communicate, connect, and teach, train, whatever you're doing, can have financial benefits. But that's not all happening in one gesture. It's not all happening in one new moon. This mundane thing can be like, I'm going to go buy something different just because I want to. But for other people, what starts to happen in this vibration sets the stage for a very big direction of the next 2 months of change, rapid movement change. Hope you're ready for that. You guys don't always like the change to go real fast, but it's coming. It's coming. Okay. Your cards will be posted on Facebook and Instagram. So moving this along, we're going to get to the stars of the show, Pisces and Pisces risings. All right, my loves, this is a new moon in your first house. You're the problem. It's all your fault. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I got to play a little bit. Come on now. A new moon in your first house. You, your mind, your body, your identity, you. Now, some of the changes that you are taking on are based off of what's best for your family. Mercury, the ruler of your fourth house of home, life, and family, is in the first. Jupiter, one of your chart rulers, is in that fourth house of home, life, and family. So for a lot of you, you're making big changes for your family, whether they like it or not. Some of you are going to be having to make some very hard decisions, and there'll be a lot of tension and arguments in this frustration based off of the things that get revealed. That doesn't mean that you're wrong, but it also doesn't mean that you're right. Some of you can be very diluted in your beliefs because, again, we've had that Neptune North Node conjunction going on in your first house for a while. Some of you have not been seeing everything clearly, and I know that can be sucky to hear, but it is the truth. So much of the vibration that follows this new moon, because again, this is the last lunation before we go into eclipse season. We've already had our first Pisces eclipse, so whatever the changes you start to make, they're 6 months in the making. This is not an overnight thing. You've had to have arguments. You've had the frustration. You've had certain things letting you know whether you need to make certain decisions or not. And as we go through the vibrations around this new moon, you're going to know whether something is worth fighting for, Five of Swords, or if something is going to be worth walking away from, Eight of Cups. Some of you are going to have to leave it alone. You can't beat a dead horse anymore. It's still a dead horse. It is what it is. And there's going to still have to be levels of changes that come through, the rapid changes that are going to come through with the Venus and the Mercury retrograde. What I'm looking at is Mercury and Venus will go retrograde between your second house of money, your assets, and then move into your first house. Mercury rules your fourth house of home, life, and family, but it also rules that seventh house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. Some of you are going to be having to make certain judgments based off of a contractual matter, based off of the other side, based off of some commitment that you don't necessarily see the same way. And as we go through these next few months, you're going to realize, again, some of the things that you have to walk away from. So I'm still showing you the Eight of Cups, but now I want to show you the Moon card. There are certain things that are going to get revealed leading into the eclipse. The thing about the light around the moon is the moon does not project its own light. It reflects the light from the sun. After a new moon perfects, we build in the light every day. It's a buildup of energy. It is a buildup of light. It is a buildup of things being revealed and coming to light. You will be making a drastic amount of changes over the course of these next 2 months. You are going to feel all the responsibility in the world because of everything that's going on in your first house. And for some of you, that's either going to cost you money or make you money. For some of you, it's going to be a little bit of both. You're going to make some kind of money, but at the same time, it's going to cost you a shit ton too. But we have so much that speaks to things getting revealed. And you're going to have to start choosing your battles a little bit better between this Eight of Cups and the Five of Swords. There will be partnerships that you're going to have to walk away from. There will be legal battles that you're going to have to stop fighting. But it's really going to come down to the things that come to light. Please note that we also have the sun card on top of the moon card. So it really comes down to the things that are coming to light. What is getting revealed? And the public elements of that, we have this world card too. And we have the strength card. So we have all of this vibration that speaks to things that need to come to light, things that need to be shown and seen and taken into account. Look at all of the planets that are going to hit conjunctions to the sun in the next 30 days. Sun conjunct Saturn, Sun conjunct Neptune, Sun conjunct Venus, Sun conjunct Mercury. Venus and Mercury will be in retrograde, so there will be changes in the revealing. There's a lot of things that need to come to light, and once they are known, expressed to the world, you will know whether you've picked the right fights with this strength card. You're going to know if you've done the right things. You're going to know that you pushed the right buttons for a reason. So I'm still showing you guys these cards. We need to be prepared for the work, prepared for the wait, prepared for the fight. That first card you had was the Five of Swords. It's going to be a fight for a lot of you. It doesn't mean you're wrong. But don't pick every battle. And that's that Eight of Cups. You can't fight every battle. You have to let some things happen naturally. You got to let some people hang themselves out to dry because they will. You don't have to help them at all. Things will happen naturally. Karma is real funny that way. And remember, we got some conjunctions to Saturn. Not only are we going to have that Sun-Saturn conjunction, but if you think of the full 2-month time span, we're also going to have multiple conjunctions between Venus and Saturn. Things are going to come to light. Things will get judged. Things will transform. And if you stay righteous and not push certain dilemmas, certain situations, not push an agenda, stay focused on the facts, the figures, the receipt. If you would stay focused on what can be proven, the way that things will publicly be displayed will go in your favor. But if you do things against other people, if you push an agenda too harshly, it doesn't matter if you were right or not. The methodology will turn people against you. So be careful in your actions. Be careful in your words. Many of you are going into an area where you're going to have to make very harsh judgments onto another side, or you will be harshly judged because of your actions. For some of you, both will be true simultaneously. Be aware of that. Okay. Okay. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I will talk to everybody very, very soon. Subscribe.